Good morning. It is Kurt Von Onen, your host of the Mañana morning check-in. Man, it is great to see you again. Today is Wednesday. It is January 6th, 2021, and today's a big day. Today is, besides being a big day for me, it's a big day for the country. I saw different social feeds coming in last night as I was getting ready for bed with, just pardon me, thousands and thousands and thousands of people in Washington, D.C. And, you see some imagery and you go, I don't know about this. You see some other imagery, you're like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And you find your emotions going up and down with some of that input, right? And it brings me back to like some of the messages earlier this week. And that is, you know, should you be concerned with your environment, with your surroundings, with all the absolutely, absolutely. But at the core of it, you still have an obligation for your daily responsibilities. If you're the provider of your home, you've got to provide, right? So I was up super, super early today. Again, I get up, somewhere between 4 and 5 most days, and I start hitting it, right? So got up and I started helping Lifter LMS with a couple of responses to customers that had questions with their projects, right? And so, and I like doing that. Here's why. I consider myself a management, a membership and learning management website expert, right? So when you say, oh, hey, I'm an expert in membership and learning websites, well, how do you get to stay an expert, right? You gotta work with folks, and you got to give them options and troubleshoot and find solutions for things that fit their project. And so I do a lot of that with Lifter LMS, and I really enjoy that because I feel like it keeps me sharp. It's a couple hours a day that I'm able to help others and keep myself sharp in what I like to do for my clients and projects and things like that. So got that done. Now, my first webinar of the day started at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I jumped on with the folks. C.R. Gittery, I've known C.R. Gittery for years. The guy is an idiot savant. He's kind of a genius in the power sports fixed operations world. He owns a thing called Service Manager Pro. Service Manager Pro is a phenomenal system that power sports dealers can use to incorporate, parts and labor and quotes into repair orders on a consistent basis. And I look at it like I do a lot of efficiency training at dealerships. And so when I go into a dealership that's not using that program and I do an RO audit, I'll say, okay, well, you charge this guy 3.5 hours to remanufacture, rebuild a front fork set. You charge this guy 2.6. You charge this guy, 3.7. Your parts aren't similar, so you'll have difference in parts, you'll have difference in fluids, and shop hazardous rates and stuff like that. And so when you are looking at paperwork from the same shop and you're looking at the same jobs and the money's different, you have to ask, well, was this customer pretty and this customer not? How come there's inconsistencies here? And in a lot of cases, folks, those inconsistencies come from the service writers just don't have easy access to information to help them do their job. So a lot of times you'll call up a service center, and this is, maybe this is too much information for people not in the industry, but you'll say, hey man, I've got a Yamaha R6 and I got a front fork seal leak. How much to do fork seals on my Yamaha R6? And a technician will be walking behind the service counter, and the service writer turn around and say, hey Bobby, how much to do fork seals on an R6? And the technician will go, I do those in 3 hours. Well, why does the technician say what he does, right? And so if it's a different technician, he might say, man, I need 3.5 hours to do those. Well, why does that guy get a half hour more pay than the first guy, right? Just because he said it? There needs to be a way to justify the work that's being sold or the money that's being collected. And it goes the other way too. Let's say, Bobby or Johnny's not behind him to ask, right? And the customer's like, how much do you do fork seals on my R6? And the service writer's in a hurry. He's got 3 other phones ringing. He's got a computer. He's got estimates to give. And he just goes, man, it's probably like 2 hours. I don't know. It's like $240 in labor and probably $50 in parts plus fluid. And then the customer comes in and he goes to write it up and he can't even remember what he quoted, right? And then you've all done this. You've taken a motorcycle to a dealership or your car to a dealership, and the service writer starts writing up the ticket and he goes, okay, here you go. It'll be about $600. And you're like, whoa, 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 man. When I called in, you said it was gonna be like $285. What's happening? And then the service writer's got to backtrack and go, oh yeah, I probably told him it'd be 2 hours, right? Well, now he gives that paperwork to a technician, and the technician's like, man, I get 3 hours for doing fork seals. Why would I do this guy's forks for 2 hours, right? And so Service Manager Pro is one of these programs that saw this a long time ago and came up with a way to have consistent pricing and quoting for a service department for all of its customers. And I really like it. And it speeds the process up. And anytime that you speed the process up, when you add consistency for the customer and speed the process, it increases profitability for the dealer on the back end. So I'm a super big fan of CRA. So I did that webinar this morning. I got on and did that. I was going way down a tangent there. I apologize. So I did that. And then shortly after that, this thing went off, and it was a call from my mother. My mother doesn't call me, right? I call her. So I'm like, oh man, is she in the hospital? What's going on? Well, she never knew all this time. She never knew that when she's looking at something in Facebook Messenger, if she clicks on the video icon, she'll call somebody with a video call. So she hits me up, she does the video call, and then she says, well, how come my camera's on, but your camera's not on? Because I was talking to her on the phone, right? And I said, you must have called me through Messenger with the video call. She goes, oh, I didn't know my phone did video calls. And it was the first time I had seen my mother in years. And so we ended up having a conversation, and that was super nice, right? Um, Near the end of last year, I would say our conversations weren't so positive, but then I came to find out that she was only getting news from one side of the aisle, right? She wasn't getting news from both sides of the aisle, or balancing the information that was coming to her. And so she was in an angry place of, hearing a lot of stuff, but only from one side. And so that affected our communication near the end of last year. And it seems like we've turned the corner on that. She's been open to looking at different sources of news and things like that. And so that was really cool. And that's how she actually clicked that video icon by mistake. But what a blessing, right? To be able to get that video call by as a surprise and have another good conversation with my mother. Second good conversation in a week. So pretty happy about that. We rounded out our volunteering last night at Resonate, which is a young adults group. My wife and I volunteered for the last year and a half, almost 2 years, with Olive Branch Community Church, helping their young adults division. And last night was our last night for that, because I took this contract with BRP, and I'll be helping them quite a bit. So I had to kind of pull back on a weekday commitment, knowing that I might not be available most weekdays due to this job. And so we went and had that. It was a great celebration to spend a really good quality night with the small group that goes there, and spend that time, right? So had those conversations then, and then got into yet another webinar. So today was day 3 of the Russell Brunson 5-day challenge that he's got going on. Okay. So remember, folks, it's not even 10 o'clock in the morning here where I'm at. Okay. So the reason I'm going through this today is I've been trying to inspire you guys, daily through the email process. You guys have been seeing these inspirational things, and you're like, well, how does this happen? And I'm here to tell you that when you are inspired, thank you. When you are inspired and you get up and do stuff, you can get a lot of stuff done before most people are functioning, right? So 7 o'clock webinar, then a meeting with my mom, impromptu, right? Then emails and notifications that I clear out. I did some journaling, right? Because you guys know that I do the journaling. Then I did my second webinar of the day with Russell Brunson. I just finished that up, and I've got a little homework to do for that, but it's to help with marketing and list growing and things like that. Wow, so my phone is happy. Somebody wants to talk. And then I've got a meeting at 11, and I've got a meeting at noon, right? So by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I've kind of pounded out a really solid work day with lots of productivity, lots of efficiency. And I'll be honest with you, folks, I went from being underemployed to almost being overemployed, right? Because now I've got projects that have aligned and things that I need to finish up. Thank you. My daughter's bringing me coffee. And no, I don't want any of that stuff. No, I don't think I want any of that stuff. Okay, I'll try it. She must be part Italian. I tell her no food and she still gives me the food. So, just an absolutely incredible day. Now, on top of all that, we've got what's going on, across the country for me about, arguing about the election and vote stealing and fraud and not fraud and who got voted in Georgia and how did the numbers flip overnight in Georgia just for the last voting cycle and all of these things that people are amped up about. And while I'm going to say that it's not that it's unimportant, I'm aware of it. I see it happening in the background, but I'm a guy in my garage in Southern California. There's not a whole lot that I can do from my position. So the best thing that I can do is stay aware, right? But be productive and work towards that goal of doing the best I can to provide for me and my family. And so that's where I'm at. I hope that these messages and my bluntness and how I say some things really resonates with some folks. And I also hope that if you are not currently getting my emails, that you would go to the mañananomas.com, click on the Academy link, and right on that first page that comes up, you'll see a form that says, to join the list. Today is the third day in a row that I've put out value added information in this email list. It's not selling you anything. It's just giving you pearls of wisdom. So the first 2 days were basically overcoming fear to accomplish a task or accomplish an activity, right? How do we overcome fear to move forward towards a goal, right? And that's what I did the first 2 days. Today was the first article that I sent folks on journaling and the value of journaling. Tomorrow, I've got another one queued up that's going to go out to you, and it's going to be about journaling, right? Now, I've been very blunt from the beginning. I don't know that I can commit to doing these emails, these value added emails on a daily basis or not. What I can tell you is I have enough content. I have enough content to do these daily emails probably for the next 3 years. So, on top of the online training, on top of these messages that I make for you, and on top of the contracts and the other clients that I'm making happy, I want to add value to as many people as I can. I've already described to you my day. You already know that I'm up, I'm productive, I'm efficient, I have the ability to do it. As long as I can do it, and I know that people are getting value from it, I want to keep it going, right? So if you're getting any value out of this, share it. Share the YouTube channel, share the podcast, share the email list, right? And get people into this community and get this thing to grow. The more that it can grow and the more that we can focus on not putting off until tomorrow what we can do today and being positive through the event, I think if we can make that a movement, right? I say a movement, that sounds like I'm running a cult. I'm not running a cult, right? But I want to get as many people as possible just to add value to them, inspire them, add positivity, and give you some quality information along the way. So if this is working for you, share it with others. And then when you get an opportunity, it doesn't have to be today, but when you get an opportunity, man, hit the reply on one of those emails or jump into mañananomas.com, hit the contact link and send me a quick message and let me know what's working for you, what doesn't work for you. And if you've got kind of a sweet spot of your own where you wish that I would give you more information in that regard, right? It could be leadership, could be communication, could be presenting, could be writing, could be weight loss, fitness. Um, I've got a whole library of stuff and a whole life of experience that if you have a certain um, interest that you want to expand in, hit me up with that. I might have those resources and then I can cycle those in on those daily emails because I want to make this not about me. I want to make it about you. I want to meet you where you're at. This isn't about me posting stuff I think is cool. I want to post stuff that helps you. So if you give me the feedback that I need to do that, I'm willing to do the work and try and make it fun along the way. So, guys, the year's been off to a great start for me. Um, like I said, I really sowed a lot of seed last year. And I knew that if I did the hard work, if I got up every day and I did the work and I did the networking and I sent the emails and I sent the messages and I built the funnels, I knew that there would be a harvest. And I had to prepare myself for that harvest. Um, Andrew S. Oakes, when I talk to Andrew Oakes, and we do that frequently on the phone, he gives me one of the best compliments ever. He He says, dude, you're a builder. You love to build stuff. But when I talk to you, I can tell that you're already thinking 2, 3 steps ahead, right? So when I launch a project like this, like these daily videos or the emails or this new project we're going to release in February that I'm so excited about, when 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 I discuss these things with my inner circle, and I say, well, if this happens, I'm prepared this way. If this happens, I'm prepared that way. If this were to happen, I think it could go this direction. You know, he's like, man, you don't just wing it for the day. You've got this thing planned for months or years in advance, and you understand your growth, and you're prepared. And that's so important, right? And the only way that I'm able to do that and keep my pulse on things and be a forward thinker is to keep communicating with you. So the more that you can give me feedback, the better I can craft my stuff moving forward. Folks, I love you. It's been about 15 minutes now, so I'm going to bail off of this call today. Again, if you are not currently getting these daily emails with the inspirational and value added stuff, go ahead and sign up for that and get into that, and then share it with your friends. And like I said, share the rest of these channels, because the more we can grow this community, I think the more powerful